There's some other questions. Can I just say?
Do you have it? There's one more question.
Yeah, I have it. Please tell me.
Please go ahead.
The what?
How the Palestinians not condemning Hamas?
He also asked about the issue of
before that there were why Palestinians are not condemning Hamas?
Yeah, why is it that the Palestinians themselves are not condemning Hamas? Yeah. Well, that's a very good question. The answer is very simple. Why is it that the Black Africans, the members of the people within South Africa that were being oppressed under white minority rule in apartheid South Africa, why is it that the black people in that country and Africans generally refuse to condemn the activities of the armed wing of the ANC? Why is it? Why would you expect an Arab to condemn the activities of a group that are simply fighting for Arab liberation and to break the yoke of subjugation from the Jews? No sane Arab would do that. They may say, well, it's unfortunate to kill women and children, but they're not going to condemn that organization. If I were an Arab, if I were a Palestinian, believe me, and I really mean this from the bottom of my heart, if my people were subject to the sort of things that the Palestinians have been subjected to by the state of Israel, I would not just be a member of Hamas, I would be a member of the Al-Qassam Brigade. I would fight physically against this tyranny. You cannot deny them that right to defend themselves and fight for their very existence. And I don't expect any Arab to condemn Hamas or to stand or speak against Hamas, because Hamas is fighting for them. So that's that one. He also asked, somebody else asked a question about the release of prisoners. Why don't they just release?
Yes.
Why don't they just release
what is the politics of that? Yes.
Yeah. Why don't they just? Why don't the Palestinian, the Hamas just release these people? Well, the answer to that is this. Before they do that, surely they have the right to require the state of Israel to release literally 10,000 prisoners that they have had within their dungeons for so many years. 10,000 Palestinians, many of them women and children, who have done absolutely nothing. They just lock them up, they torture them, they brutalize them. Why don't the Jews release those people first? And that's the argument. You don't expect Hamas to simply release people after 30,000 of their citizens, women and children, have been bombed and killed and slaughtered, after virtually 90% of their infrastructure has been knocked out, after hospitals, places of worship, churches, mosques, everybody, everything, journalists, everybody, UN workers, aid workers, medical practitioners have all been slaughtered. You now say they should release the prisoners. Nobody would do that. They will fight to the end until Israel sees reason and stop killing their people. And I would not blame them for doing that. Why? Because I understand what it is to suffer the pain. One of your questioners asked me, said that why do I feel so bitter about it? I don't feel bitter. I feel anger, outrage, in the same way that I felt outrage when the Jews were killed by Nazi Germany, by Hitler, 6 million. When I read about it, I felt a sense of outrage. It is indecent. It is inhuman. I feel outrage. And he also should feel a sense of outrage. Why? During our civil war in Nigeria, 3 million Igbos were killed in the civil war. 3 million of them were killed. We don't talk about it. We don't like to refer to it. But it is an outrage. The Turks killed over 1 million Armenians. Christian Armenians were killed by the Turks. It is an outrage. The Americans wiped out the red Indian race. It is an outrage. I could go on and on. There are so many outrages in the history of the world, and we must be outraged by these things. If we're not outraged by them, it means we become animals, and that is why I'm not bitter, but I have a sense of outrage, and I feel for the Arabs because they're human beings. I feel for Muslims, I feel for Christians, and everybody else that has been a victim of genocidal Israel.
I think I heard somebody say the other day that being against against abuse and genocide across the world, and having sympathy for those who are kidnapped in Israel is not mutually exclusive.
Absolutely.
We can be both. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that's what people really forget. That it's not about taking one side. It's about focusing.
The other. Yeah, humanity.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
It's got to be about humanity. And oh my word, I always need to have you longer than an hour. I don't know how we're going to do this because I've got, they're telling me